Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video. Rob here. Slightly different video today. I'm going to be ranking all the competitively viable Pokemon or fully evolved Pokemon that are in the Galar Pokédex, including all available Gmax forms. So this is going to be ranked via in the formats VGC, ranked doubles and casual doubles. So A, obviously extremely good. NA, for the NA Pokemon, I'm going to put in here Pokemon that I think you should never bring on a team, and Pokemon that I'm not sure what they do, because there's some Pokemon I just don't know if they're good or not, so it's not fair for me to rank them. But we're going to get straight onto this. Thank you for Tiermaker for providing the tools, and thank you for Serebii for providing the images. I did create this myself, and I will link this in the description below if you want to fill it out yourself. So I'm not the best battler out there, but I consider myself average, maybe a bit above average. I became, in the Galar Newcomers Championship, I ranked 591 standing. Unfortunately, I didn't have my video software, so I wasn't able to record any of it, but maybe next time. Right, so let's get straight into it. Gmax Charizard, I think, is very good. Gmax Wildfire is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. The damage it deals over time is very powerful. It's just a good Pokemon. I think it's a solid B tier, in my opinion. Regular Charizard, not as great because of no Wildfire, but it can set its own sun. But unfortunately, if you set the sun the same turn, if you got Solar Power and you set the sun, you won't get the Solar Power boost that turn, but you will still take damage. So that's a little bit of a hindrance. C tier for me, regular Charizard. Gmax Befuddle Butterfree is a good Pokemon. It's a very good Gmax move, very annoying, but it's a very frail Pokemon. I don't think it's a B tier. I think it's a C tier in my opinion. Regular Butterfree, I don't think it's very good. D tier. Gmax Pikachu, spreading full power is great, but Pikachu's extremely frail, and Gmax Pikachu does not have access to Lightning Rod. Now, I think that holds it back quite a bit. Otherwise, I think it would see probably more use if it could redirect electrical attacks, but it can't. For me, it's a D tier Pokemon, not very good. Regular Pikachu, don't bring those, not very good, unless you're doing some sort of niche team. Raichu, very good Pokemon. It's great partner to Charizard and Gyarados. Jellicent, other Pokemon that appreciate electric attack redirections. It's got a solid supportive move pool. Easy B tier for me. I've had a lot of success using it. Clefairy, you might think is a strange one, but it does have Friend Guard, which reduces damage to your partner and I think yourself by 25%, which with Eviolite as well, it becomes a pretty solid Pokemon. It's quite bulky. I don't think it's quite a C tier, but a D tier for sure. Clefable, I think, is underused right now. It's a pure fairy typing. It's got decent bulk. Not as bulky as Togekiss, but it does have less weaknesses than Togekiss. It's got a great move pool in utility moves. It's got Dazzling Gleam and Moonblast for offense. It also has Unaware, so it ignores boosts from opponents, as well as Magic Guard, I believe. So I think Fable is a good Pokemon and underutilized. C tier for me at the moment. Ninetales, unfortunately, probably the worst weather setter, just because it's base speed. It's the fastest setter of weather, and because of that, you know, if you're going up against an opposing weather setter or an opposing weather team, you know that you're not going to win that speed weather war. So, I mean, Draw is still powerful, and if you don't see opposing weather, it's still good. C tier for me. Volplume, outside of its after you tactics, not very good. Even in the sun, it's not very fast at 50 base speed. For me, it's an E tier Pokemon. Dugtrio, I feel like, is a relatively good Pokemon. I know it gets Arena Trap, and I think it could be better than what we think, but I don't know too much about it. But because of Arena Trap, I'm going to stick it in the D tier. Cantonia and Gmax Meowth. I know its Gmax move confuses opponents, I think, but extremely frail. I really don't think you should be using this at all. I'm just going to stick it into the E tier, though. Regular Persian, Nope, not very good. Arcanine, I think, is a solid B tier Pokemon. Great bulk, good offensive coverage. Intimidate and Justified is also very nice. G-Max Machamp, unfortunately no G-Max Knuckle for you. But, I mean, you could run Guts, Flame Orb. I mean, I think this... I'm going to put it into the C tier. Because maybe there's something unexplored about it. I don't know. But apart from that, I don't think it's a very good G-Max Pokemon. I mean, it looks great, though. Regular Machamp, I think, is underplayed. Dynamic Punch is awesome. It also has Knockoff. Has Quick Guard and Wide Guard, I believe. Very good Pokemon, in my opinion. Going to be using one of these very soon as well. I think Machamp is a solid B tier Pokemon. Galarian Rapidash. Now, this is, I think, the fastest in Prison and Trick Room Pokemon. And it's Fairy and Psychic. It can learn Dazzling Gleam and Psychic as well. So it can shut down most Indeedis, as well as Hatterinis. On that alone, I think, is worthy of a D tier. But outside of that, I don't think it's very good. Cloyster, E tier for me. G-Max Gengar. G-Max move stops you from retreating, I believe. Looks great shiny. It's got that pure white like a ghost. It's a ghost type. I can't remember what the G-Max ghost type move does, but I think G-Max Gengar could be pretty good. I'm going to stick that in the C tier for now. Regular Gengar is a solid... actually, no, I'm going to put G-Max Gengar in the B tier. Regular Gengar, I'm going to stick in the C tier. Unfortunately, it doesn't see a lot of use right now. It's a very good Pokemon, though, don't get me wrong. G-Max Kingler has low base speed at 55, I think. G-Max move lowers speed harshly. I mean, that's still pretty good. I'm going to stick that into the C tier there. Regular Kinga, not very good, I don't think. Hitmonlee, Unburden, gets, I believe, Fake Out, High Jump Kick, Close Combat, possibly. It's a pretty good Unburden user. I'm going to stick that into the C tier. Hitmonchan, unfortunately, not very good Pokemon. E tier for me. I love Hitmonchan, but just not very good. Galarian Weezing does have that neutralizing gas. Misty Trend, not so useful, but neutralizing gas is a really good ability. You just have to make sure that you're not shutting down your own Pokemon by removing its ability. So this can come in pretty clutch, Weezing. That's a solid C tier for me. Regular Weezing, I don't think you can get that yet, so I'm going to stick that into NA. Seekings, I know it gets Lightning Rod, but I don't think it's a very good Pokemon. I'm going to stick that into the E tier. Galarian Mr. Mime, very good Pokemon. Has great base speed, 100. Has access to Fake Out. I know there is other moves on its move pool. It's got quite a lot of utility moves in Helping Hand and stuff like that. Becomes quite bulky with an Evilite. For me, that's a solid C tier Pokemon. Regular Mr. Mime, do not bring those. Gyarados, solid A tier Pokemon. Great bulk, works great with Lightning Rod users. Has access to Intimidate and Moxie, which is extremely powerful once it starts snowballing with Max Airstream. Yep, Gyarados, just an A tier Pokemon straight out for me. G-Max Lapras, I feel like is also an A tier Pokemon. Having that max move that can set up Auraville, as well as great moves like Freeze Dry. It can recover itself now with Life Dew, as well as its partner. Yeah, so G-Max Lapras, I think, solid. It also has access to Thunderbolt, so it can hit water types. If you don't have Freeze Dry, it can hit... it's just a good Pokemon, I think. Regular Lapras, it's also very fat. Massive HP stat. Regular Lapras, not so great. E tier for me. Ditto. Depends what you bring it in on. I mean, it can be good and it can be bad. So I'm going to stick it into the C tier. G-Max Eevee, don't bring this thing. Not very good. Vaporeon, I feel like it's outclassed. I'm going to stick it into a D tier. Same with Jolteon. Flareon, I know it gets Guts. Gets Guts, Superpower, and Flare Blitz. Very slow, though. Not a very wide move pool. For me, it's going to be E tier Pokemon. G-Max Snorlax, easy A tier. Great Pokemon. If this thing sets up a belly drum and in Trick Room, you are probably buggered. It would just one-shot everything. Regular Snorlax, also extremely good. I mean, you could argue A tier for that as well, but I'm going to stick it into a B tier for now. Noctowl, not very good. Don't bring those. Lantern, I don't think is very good either. Yes, I wouldn't bring those. Exeter, I know this has a great solid utility moves. I'm going to stick this into the D tier. I'm not too sure what it does though. Bellossom, everything it does, I mean Vileplume does it better, so you're probably better off not bringing it. Sudowoodo, I feel like Head Smash. It's got Rock Head as well. It's probably something I'm missing, but it's probably not very good. I'm going to stick it into the E tier. Quagsire, no, Quagsire is great in singles at the moment because of Yawn and Unaware. Just because of Yawn alone, and Unaware actually. I think Quagsire could probably be quite good. It's a D or E for me. I feel like I can stick it into an E tier though. Espeon, again, I think it's outclassed by other Pokemon that do very similar things. Does have Magic Bounce. I'm going to stick it into the D tier. Umbreon, D tier as well for me. Wobbuffet, very predictable. To me, this thing would just sit on the field and do not a lot. For me, I would not bring Wobbuffet onto your teams unless you really love it. Steelix, I know it's got massive defense. Could be useful in trick rooms. E tier for me. Shackle, I don't think you should be bringing Shackle personally. That's an NA for me. Corsola, very good Pokemon. Has Strength Sap, massive bulk. Very good against physical attackers with Strength Sap. You have to watch out for this one. Does need a little bit of support though, because it's not very offensively dangerous. It won't do a lot back to you. C tier for me. Octillery, I don't think are very good. NA for me. Delibird, NA, no, not an A tier. They're not very good at all. Mantine has access to Swift Swim, great special bulk, relatively decent bulk overall. I think 85 special attacks, got solid move pool and Tailwind and stuff like that. I think Mantine could probably be better than what we're giving it for, credit for. D tier for me. Hitmontop, easy C tier Pokemon, has access to Intimidate, Fake Out, Close Combat, Quick Guard, Wide Guard. Nice Pokemon in my opinion. Tyranitar, A tier Pokemon. Everyone loves Tyranitar. It's got great bulk, especially once the sand goes up. You can also make use of Unnerve on it. Great weakness policy user. Easy A tier Pokemon in my opinion. Ludicolo, B tier in my opinion. Great Swift Swim abuser. Has access to Muddy Water now as well. Can't say the same for Shiftry, unfortunately. I don't see anybody use these at all. This is going to be a D tier for me, unfortunately. Does have Chlorophyll, though, so there is that. Pilipper is such a bad Pokemon. Outside of 95 special attack and 100 base defense, the rest of his stats are very underwhelming. Does have access to Tailwind, and you can sash it. And it also is the only Pokemon, I believe, at the moment has Drizzle. So that alone, I mean, it's with just having Auto Weather is a C tier for me. Gardevoir, I think, is a very solid Pokemon. Great special attack, great special defense, relatively good speed as well. I think this Pokemon could be a lot better than what it's currently being used for, if it's being used at all. So C tier for me. Don't bring Ninjas, they're not very good. Don't bring Ninja either, also not very good. Sableye, solid B tier Pokemon. Great prankster user with Sunny Day, Rain Dance, Quash. Fake Out, Will-O-Wisp, it's just Thunder Wave, I think, as well. Very good Pokemon. Morwhile is bad. Intimidate doesn't obviously help it out a lot here. Very bad stats. NA for me, don't bring it. Manectric, Lightning Rod user, doesn't carry Fake Out though. Probably does get Nuzzle maybe, but it's got good base speed. It's a little bit more offensive than Raichu. Has access to stuff like Flamethrower and Heat Wave, I believe. I mean, you could partner that with Sun teams actually, especially with the Heat Wave. I'm gonna put that into the C tier for me. I think Manectric is all right. Wailord, I don't think are very good. Don't bring those. Torkoal is the slowest weather setter in the game, and for me, that is an instant B tier Pokemon. Its other stats are quite underwhelming outside of base 140 defense, but the fact that unless you're carrying Iron Ball on your Gigalith, then Torkoal is always going to be getting the weather off its side compared to opponents if you are going at a weather war and you both lead with them. So for me, that is B tier. Especially very good with Trick Room and help getting off Eruption. Flygon, poor man's Garchomp, not very good. E tier for me. Lunatone and Solrock, I'm pretty sure these are not good Pokemon. NA for me. Wishcash, I don't think is very good. NA for me. Crawdon is alright. I'm going to put that into the E tier. Claydol, I think, is pretty good actually. It's got solid bulk. Has access to Trick Room, Earth Power, Psychic, Imprison. I'm going to stick that into the D tier for now. Milotic is a good Pokemon. Shallow Move Pool, unfortunately. Can't get Hidden Power Grass or Fire at the moment either. But a great, probably the best competitive user there is. Isn't many of them. Good bulk. C tier for me. Dusclops, A tier. Amazing Trick Room setter. Just very annoying and extremely bulky Pokemon. Glalie, outside of Moody, not very good. So unless you're bringing it for that, E tier for me. Roserade isn't a very good Pokemon. NA, I don't think you should bring in that. Same with Vespiquen. Cherum, I don't think is very good either. I'm going to stick it into the E tier for now, though, because I know it has another form. Gastrodon, solid B tier Pokemon. Storm Drain is great if you're running weather teams such as Sand or Fire. It can redirect those water-type moves. Much better on Sand, in my opinion, because it ignores Sandstorm. So there's that. Drift Bloom, I don't think is a very good Pokemon. I know it gets quite a lot of utility moves, so I'm going to stick it to an E tier. Skunt Tank, not very good, I don't think. Bronzong, Trick Room, utility moves. I think it's outclassed, so I'm just going to stick it into the E tier. Lucario is a solid B tier Pokemon, I think. One of the few Pokemon that can hit fighting type moves from the special side. So I think I'm going to stick that in the B tier. Great justified user as well. Hippowdon, C tier. Just because of great bulk and Sandstream. Draption, D tier Pokemon for me. It's not that bad. Toxicroak, also D tier. Abomasnow, C tier because of Snow Warning. Weevil is a C tier Pokemon for me. You can do a lot of shenanigans with that. Rhypheria is a solid A tier Pokemon. One of the best weakness policy users currently. Togekiss, also an A tier Pokemon. Best follow me user at the moment. Great bulk. Also capable of Dynamaxing, access to Super Luck. All sorts of things. Leafeon, unfortunately, outside of Leaf Blade, I'm not sure it actually gets many physical moves. So that's an E tier Pokemon for me. Same with Glaceon. E tier for me. Mamoswine, I think, is a lot better than... I haven't seen one Mamoswine, and I think it's pretty good. Oblivious now ignores Intimidate, so it can't be intimidated. I'm going to stick that into the C tier for now. Gallade, D tier for me. Dusknoir, unfortunately outclassed by Dusclops extremely. D tier for me. Frostless, E tier. I don't think you should be really bringing those, to be honest. Rotom Frost is E tier for me, unless you're running on a dedicated Hail team to spam Blizzard. All Fire, Water, and Grass Rotom forms are B tier for me. I feel like the Grass form is probably the better one this generation. At the moment, anyway. Rotom Fan, I love this Pokemon. I think it looks so cool. But unfortunately, Levitate and the Flying type don't really help you unless you're coming across Mold Breaker, Excadrill. Regular Rotom, slightly faster than Form Rotoms, but not very bulky. I don't think you should be bringing it, to be honest. Liepard, I'm not going to rank this because it has Prankster, but Prankster isn't available. So I don't think it's fair to rank this. I've forgotten this Pokemon's name, but it's quite bulky. Great on Trick Rooms. I'm going to stick this in the C tier. Unifezant, don't bring those. Now, Gigalith is the second to last slowest weather setter in the game. It can also underspeed Torkoal with a Iron Ball, I believe. So, for me, this is a solid B tier Pokemon. I would argue using this as your weather setter over Tyranitar just because it's got less weaknesses, has amazing bulk in 130 defense. It's got good special defense bulk at 85. Once the Sandstream's up, Assault Fair, stuff like that. I think Gigalith is solid, and I think you should look into that if you were going to run a Sand team. Woobat, or I think it is, not very good. Don't bring those. Excadrill, solid A tier Pokemon in Sand Rush and Mold Breaker. Conkeldurr, also solid A tier Pokemon. I've not had too much trouble with them though. I don't think Machamp and Conkeldurr do the same thing, but I think Conkeldurr is probably the slightly more preferred one. Seismitoad, solid B tier Pokemon, great Swift Swim abuser. Can run physical or special, Muddy Water, Power Whip, Earthquake, Earth Power, lots of uses. Don't bring these two karate dudes. They're not very good. Whimsicott, solid A tier Pokemon with Prankster Tailwind and new speed mechanics and so many utility moves. Basculin, don't bring that. Darmanitan, B tier for me. Not as good in doubles as it is in singles just because it can get targeted much more. So, yeah, B tier for me. Now, Galarian Zen Mode Darmanitan, I've only seen this once, and I think with the right support with Follow Me users and being able to activate your Zen Mode whilst Dynamax, I assume they stack, this thing is really solid, actually. I think this thing is a lot better than we think it is. So I'm going to stick that into the B tier as well. Zen Mode, normal Darmanitan, nope, don't ever use that. Regular Darmanitan, probably E for me. Actually, no, I'm not going to rank this because it's not actually legal. It's not actually in the game, so NA for me. Don't ever bring this either. Pretty sure this is bad. Scrafty, Intimidate, Fake Out. Pretty good typing, good bulk. Drain Punch, Close Combat. Unfortunately, lost Knockoff though, so for that I'm going to stick it into the C tier. Sigalith, I think it is. Pretty solid Pokemon. Bit awkward speed tier because it's like 84, so you're not going to really put it on Trick Room teams either. I think it does get in Prison and Trick Room, obviously. Going to stick that into an E tier. Confrigus is a great Pokemon under Trick Room, C tier for me. Gmax Garbodor, I think will actually be pretty decent. It's got weak armor, it's got Stench as abilities, so it can boost its speed, which is 75. It's not that slow. Its Gmax move sets off Toxic. I'm going to put that into the C tier for now. I think Gmax Garbodor could be pretty cool. Regular Garbodor, I don't think you should bring in. What's this? Chinchino or something. I think this Pokemon's a bit frail, not too great. D tier for me. A tier for Gothitelle. Shallow Tag is just amazing. It's got access to Imprison and Trick Room. Stops you from switching out if you're not a dark type, I believe. Great bulk. Also has access to competitive, but Shadow Tag's just so good. Reuniclus, amazing special attack. Very dangerous in Trick Room. C tier for me. Vanillux, B tier. Has access to a relatively fast Auraville. Snow Warning, Blizzard, Freeze Dry. Pretty decent Pokemon. Escavalier, I think, is a really good Pokemon under Trick Room. Amazing bulk, amazing attack, relatively good move pool. C tier for me. Jellicent is an A tier Pokemon. Water Absorb, Curse Body, relatively good bulk, and has access to Strength Sap now, as well as Imprison and Trick Room. So for me, that's a solid A tier Pokemon. Garvantula, I think, is not too bad. I'm going to stick that into D. Ferrothorn is a B tier Pokemon in my opinion. Kling Clang, I think it is not that great. I'm going to stick D tier. Forgotten this Pokemon's name, but I know it learns Ally Switch, Trick Room, probably Imprison. I'm going to stick that into an E tier for now. Chandelure, I think, is a solid B tier Pokemon. Quite a lot of weaknesses though. Like common weaknesses, but great special attack. Has Imprison and Trick Room. Solid Pokemon. Haxorus, C tier in my opinion. Awkward speed tier. Great attack though. Has access to Mold Breaker. C tier for me. Beartic has Slush Rush. I reckon could be pretty decent. It's got an alright move pool in Icicle Spear, Superpower. I believe Throat Chop as well, C tier for me. Selgor, probably C tier. It's very fast. It does have first impression as well as final gambit. I don't think you should ever be using this. Stunkfish or whatever it is. Golurk, I think, is a pretty solid Pokemon. Has access to No Guard as well as Iron Fist. It's got Dynamic Punch. It's got loads of... It's got a great move pool, to be honest, on the physical side. C tier for me. Oh, put that there. We go. Bishop, solid B tier Pokemon. Has access to Defiant. Can hit fairies hard. Yep. Bishop, solid B tier Pokemon. Same with Bravery. Defiant has access to Max Knuckle, Max Airstream. Definitely not as common as it was right at the start of the format, but still a solid B tier Pokemon. Mandibuzz, I also think is a solid B tier Pokemon. It's got great bulk. It has access to Foul Play with such low attack. It's got access to Snow. It's got Roost. It's got Tailwind. It has got some other utility moves as well. I think Mandibuzz is a very good Pokemon, and if you need the support from it, it's definitely a go-to in my opinion. It's also got great typing. Solid B tier. Heatmore, not very good. Durant, solid B tier Pokemon. I've only faced one of these once and it swept me because Hustle does stack with max moves. Hydreigon, solid B tier Pokemon. Great special attacker. Diggersby, I know it gets huge power, but I don't think it's very good though. E tier for me. Pangoro, E tier. I love this Pokemon, but outclassed. Female Meowstic, I don't think is very good. I know the male one gets Prankster, so I'm going to stick that into D tier. Aegislash, I think, is underutilized right now. I know it had a little bit of a nerf, but it's still a good Pokemon. Unfortunately, maxing it doesn't stack with Keen Shield, so if you attack, you're stuck in attacking form. I mean, not that it really matters. I'm going to stick it into the C tier for now, though. Aromatize, I know it's got supportive moves. I'm going to stick it into the D tier. Slurpuff, not very good. E tier. Malamar, D tier. Useful ability. Has access to superpower. Barbicle, not very good. Don't bring this. Hallowest can abuse all forms of weather. Great speed, great special attack. C tier for me. Bit frail though. Salvion, solid B tier Pokemon. Pure Fairy type. Has access to Pixelate, Hyper Voice. Mystical Fire now as well. Yes, that's a solid Pokemon, Sylveon. Hawlucha, very frail, but it can abuse Unburden with Psychic Seeds or Electric Seed, Weakness Policy, possibly Berries as well. Does have Stab, Max Airstream, and Max Knuckle. I think that's probably a solid... For me, it's in between C and B because it's very frail. I'm going to stick it into C for now, I think. Goodra, solid B tier Pokemon, amazing bulk, especially in Assault Fest. Trevenant, D tier for me. Gorgeist, also D tier. I think they're both outclassed by other Pokemon that do the same things better. Avalugg, I know it's got massive defense stat, but I'm going to stick it into the E tier for now. Noivern is pretty solid. It has got Tailwind. It's very fast. Draco Meter. I think now Noivern's pretty solid. I'm going to stick C tier there. I know people have used Charger Bug in the past. I don't know if it's any good anymore though, so I'm just going to stick it into NA. Vigavolt on Trick Rooms is amazing. I've never had much problem with it though. C tier for me. Rabombi, great supporting moves, very fast. C tier for me. Wishy Washy is great in Trick Rooms. Toxapex's not very useful in doubles. I'm going to put D tier. Mudsdale, I think, is a solid B tier Pokemon. Great defensive stats. Good ability and stamina and inner focus. Aquanid, solid B tier Pokemon. Very strong under Trick Room. I know this thing learns Spore, but I'm just going to stick it into the E tier for now. Salazzle, C tier for me. Has access to Fake Out, a very fast one. Could also poison steel types and poison types. Beware, C tier for me. Pretty nifty ability and fluffy. Have to watch out for fire type moves though. I think it could be pretty cool. C tier for me. I think this Pokemon, I've forgotten its name, is a B tier. Does have access to Max Airstream, Max Knuckle. Its ability stops any priority moves, even those that are affected by Prankster from both sides of the field. So if you're not running priority, this is a Pokemon you could look at. I think this is solid, in my opinion. Angoro, solid C tier Pokemon. Passimium, I think, is a B tier for me. Does have access to Knockoff, C-Bomb, Close Combat, Defiant, relatively good bulk, good speed. I think it's a B tier, in my opinion. I think it's underplayed. Gliscopod, C tier, in my opinion. Not very good, don't bring those. Type Null is extremely bulky with an Evilite, but it's got such a poor move pool. I don't think you should be bringing it, to be honest. Savali, I love Savali, but just C tier for me. It needs moves like Extreme Speed and Recover, really, to be honest with you. Also lost Tailwind without move tutors. Turtonator, I don't think it's very good. I'm going to stick E tier. This Electric Mouse, I've forgotten its name. Very good Pokemon, access to Lightning Rod, Nuzzle. B tier for me. Mimikyu, B tier Pokemon. Drampa, I'm going to say, that's not Drampa, that's Bolton. Drampa, I'm going to go with E tier. Very good in Trick Room. Boltland, I think, is a C tier Pokemon. It's got strong jaw. It's got a decent move pool. It also has competitive. It has access to Nuzzle, I believe. Yeah, pretty cool Pokemon. C tier for me. Delmise is a good Pokemon in Trick Room. Has quite a nice move pool and it can hit quite hard. It's got good stats. C tier for me. Komao is a B tier Pokemon, in my opinion. I think this Pokemon is unexplored right now. It can do a lot of things with Body Press. Its new signature move that boosts all its stats +1. I think this Pokemon is something to watch out for. It can also hit from the special side on the fighting type moves, which is quite unique to Lucario and Komao. I'm not sure if there's any others that do it. With stab fighting, that is. Rillaboom would be a B or A tier if it had Grassy Terrain. Until then, it's a C tier. Great move pool. Same with Cinderace. Inteleon is a B tier Pokemon. Seeing a lot of usage currently. I'm not sure this thing does a lot. I'm just going to stick this into the E tier. I know it's got a special move, I believe. G-Max Corviknight, never use this over a regular one. E tier for me. Regular Corviknight, I think, is a C tier Pokemon. Doesn't see as much use as it did at the start. For me, it's just C tier. I mean, you could argue B tier, but I never have any problems with it, to be honest. So I'm going to say C tier. G-Max or Beetle, I think, could be useful. I'm going to put C tier because G-Max move does set off gravity, and with conjunction using it with Pokemon that can run Hypnosis, I think could be very solid. Regular or Beetle, I don't think is very good. E tier. This Fox Pokemon, I know it learns Snow. Apart from that, I don't think it's very weak. Don't bring it. To be honest, just don't bring it. Eldegoss, I think, is pretty solid. I'm going to stick in a D tier. Dubwool, it's got solid stats, but I don't know if it's good or not. I'm going to stick it into the E tier. I've got a feeling it's not. G-Max, Dreadnought, its move sets up Stealth Rocks. Not very good in doubles or VGC, but it does have access to Swift Swim. The only difference between this and regular Dreadnought is that it doesn't set up Rain when it's with its max move. I'm going to stick that into the C tier for that reason, but regular Dreadnought, I'm going to stick into B tier because it hits so hard with Swift Swim. It can take effect. It can make use of sand as well with being part rock. It's got strong jaw. I think Dreadnought is solid. G-Max Colossal. Its max move does damage a bit like Wild Flames, Wild Flare, or whatever it is. Charizard's one. Very slow, so you could use it on trick rooms. I believe that's a rock type move, to be honest. I want to say it's a rock type move. I'm going to say it's a C tier. Regular Colossal, I think. I mean, you could run it under Trick Room. It's very underwhelming on the attacking side, though. I'm going to stick into a D tier for now. We'll say these. So G-Max Flapple, I think, is actually going to be pretty good. It does have Hustle, and its max moves will stack with Hustle. And its max move also lowers the evasion of opponents. Now, that is great for when your Dynamax ends, because the opponents will be easier to hit, which means you're less likely to miss your accuracy drops. So it sort of gets rid of the accuracy drops from Hustle. So I think it's a solid B tier Pokemon. Regular Flapple, I'm going to put C tier. I mean, its move pool isn't the greatest, but it's got what it needs. Appleton G-Max, I don't think it's very good. E tier for me. Regular Appleton, I've only faced this a couple times and it just sort of sat there and did not a lot. I know it's got thick fat, but I think I'm going to stick it onto the D tier. G-Max Seconda, I think could be pretty good. C tier for me. Regular Seconda, Sanconda, I don't think you should... I mean, Sandpick could be useful. D tier for me. Chroma Run, I'm going to stick D tier. Outside of its gimmicks, it's not very good. This Pokemon, I've forgotten its name, but it can ignore redirection. It's very strong. It has access to Swift Swim. Can be a great Pokemon. Extremely frail, though. I think I'm going to give it a solid B tier, though. Toxtricity, I love this Pokemon, but unfortunately, it's slightly not very good at the moment. Maybe with its G-Max form, it'll be better, but at the moment, C tier. Center Scorch, I believe it traps opponent like Fire Spin with its G-Max move. A lot of weaknesses, though. I'm going to stick into the C tier. Regular Center Scorch, probably not very good. Probably an E tier. I'm going to say D tier. Octolox, I think this Pokemon looks amazing. I love its shiny form. Unfortunately, though, I feel like it's just unfinished. It's got like one move that benefits from Technician. Limber isn't exactly the greatest move in the world. E tier for me. I know it's got its special Octolock move, but it's a bit gimmicky in my opinion. Teapot Pokemon, C tier. Actually, no, I'm going to say D tier. I don't think it's that great. G-Max Hatterene has a chance to confuse opponents. Only a chance. I don't think you'd use this over a regular one. I don't think you'd Gigantamax it. E tier for me. Regular Hatterene is a very good Pokemon. Very solid. Great Trick Room setter. B tier in my opinion. G-Max Grimmsnarl looks amazing. It's just bad. G-Max News only hits... If it activates 50% of the time, it's only going to drowse one opponent. Plenty of time to get up Electric Train, Safeguard, you know, its stats don't favour it, neither do its abilities. So, unfortunately, I'm going to put you into a D tier. Regular Grimmsnarl, solid B tier Pokemon, pranks to screens, pranks to T-Wave, has access to Fake Out. Obstagoon, solid C tier Pokemon, faints quite quickly, but Obstruct is cool. It's got Defiant. You could argue B tier, but I don't think so. Berserker, I think, is a C tier Pokemon as well. Very bad. Don't bring this. Poor old Cursula. Surfetched, I love Surfetched. I think this Pokemon looks amazing. I just love it. Unfortunately, though, it does not get Defiant. It gets Scrappy, so it does block Intimidate, but unfortunately, I think if it had Defiant, it would be so much better. So, unfortunately, for that, I'm going to stick it into C tier. It's not the most bulky Pokemon either. Mr. Rhyme, D tier as well. D tier even. Yeah, so outclassed, I think, by Galarian Mr. Mime, personally. Runerigus, I think, is a solid B tier Pokemon. Very decent stats. Could work great under Trick Room. G-Max Cake, its G-Max move works as in a Life Juice, so it heals you and your opponent for 25%, I think. I don't think it's quite a B tier, but I'm going to say C tier. And I'm going to put regular Alcremie in C tier as well, just because Decorate is quite good. It's got quite solid stats as well. Phalanx, No Retreat is good. Needs a lot of support though. And you really need it to be useful. Defiant is a good ability, but I don't think that really... I'm going to stick into a C tier for Phalanx, unfortunately. Slowest terrain setter. Stats are very underwhelming. At the moment, not much use for it. I'm going to stick into the E tier. I think Frostmoth is this Pokemon. A lot of common weaknesses, unfortunately, so not very good. E tier for me. Stone Journal, I think, is pretty decent if it played correctly. C tier. Pingu. I know that's not what it's called. I've just forgotten its name. I know it starts with an E. I don't think it's very good though. D tier. Indeedee female, solid B tier Pokemon in my opinion. Male version not as good. D tier. The other electric mouse, I think this is quite a solid Pokemon to be honest. It does have a unique move in Aura Will that does raise your speed each turn and switches between dark and electric. It's got access to Nuzzle and Fake Out. I'm going to stick it into D tier for now because unfortunately it does not have Lightning Rod, obviously. The elephant, its G-Max move sets up spikes, not useful for doubles. If you're going to use it, I'd rather have, as a Dynamax, you'd rather have Max Steel Strike for raising your defense. I'm going to stick it into a D tier, though I don't think it's that great. Dracozolt is an easy B tier Pokemon. Once this has Sand Rush available, it would be easy A tier. It does stack with Hustle in terms of Dynamaxing. If you wanted to go that route, with Tailwind Sport, it can be good. It does have access to Max Airstream as well. These two, Arctozolt, I think it is. Not very... I mean, you could argue Trick Room, but even then it's not slow enough for Trick Room. I'm going to say it's a E tier Pokemon. Dracovish, I'm going to say A tier. It's very strong if used correctly. If you don't use it correctly, though, it's very easy to shut down. But I'm still going to give it an A tier. I'm going to put the other one in E tier as well. Duraludon G-Max, Depletion. I love its G-Max form. I think it looks amazing, but unfortunately, depleting a chance of their PP is not a good G-Max move compared to regular G-Max Wormrind that lowers attack. So E tier for me. Unfortunately, I can't put it in A because of looks. Regular Duraludon, solid A tier Pokemon. It can bypass redirection. It's got good typing. Low special defense, unfortunately, but hits hard. Dragapult, solid A tier Pokemon. Obviously, these can only be used in casuals, but they're solid A tier Pokemon regardless. So I'm just going to stick them in the A tier anyway. Why not? Because if you are doing the casuals or free-for-all, that's pretty solid. Same with Eternatus, I think it is. And last but not least, we've got Quellfish. It does have access to Intimidate. I'm not sure what its bulk like or its moves. I'm going to stick it into the E tier. Right, so this video is getting quite lengthy now, but we'll just slowly scroll down my list of tiers. Obviously, here's my A tier Pokemon, my B tier Pokemon, my C tier Pokemon, my D tier Pokemon, the E tier Pokemon, and the Pokemon that I just don't think should ever be used, or I'm not sure if they are good or not, and they're just in the NA. So yeah, that pretty much sums it up, to be honest. It's been a different kind of video and I hope you've enjoyed it. Feel free to make your own and rank them how you please. It's entirely up to you. We're all different. We all have our own different opinions. I will be back tomorrow with a regular PvP video, I hope. I thank you for watching. Please feel free to like the video, share it with friends, subscribe to the channel. Until then, Rob out. Goodbye.